What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I'm Surge T, and tonight I'll be talking about NXT Takeover 36. Plenty of shock, plenty of awe, plenty of surprises. So let's get into it and let's talk about the Takeover pre-show. Uh, Trey Baxter has a tall task on his hand as he takes on Ridge Holland, who's accompanied by Pete Dunne. And what else did you expect? In the end, the winner is Ridge Holland. And thanks for coming by, Trey Baxter. I'm really interested in seeing what Ridge Holland is going to do. Well, we already know what he's doing, but let's see where it heads to, especially now that he accompanies Pete Dunne and Oni Lorcan. Now, the $1 Million Championship match. And this match was a very physical match. $1 Million Man got some licks in. He was able to take it to LA Reid. LA Reid. No, that's the producer. LA Knight. Uh, there's something going on with the belt. You know, LA Knight's trying to introduce the belt in, maybe trying to get a cheap shot on Cameron Grimes, but then Cameron Grimes is able to get the hold of the belt. And speaking of belt, $1 Million Man is able to belt LA Knight in the jaw. LA Knight's trying to get a cheap shot. $1 Million Man still shows that he's got a few tricks up his sleeves and still able to go and knocks LA Knight on his ass. And he throws him back into the ring, and then Cameron Grimes goes to the moon and connects with the cave in and becomes the new $1 Million Champion. So let's move LA Knight to pursuit of the North American title, and then eventually the NXT Championship. It's only natural. Now let Cameron Grimes bask in his new win and being the $1 Million Champion, and the heir now, I guess you could say, to the $1 billion legacy. So let's see how that keeps going. Now, the NXT Women's Championship between two former friends. They always say the same thing, the same type of storyline, but I like this one for a change. This is really a good rivalry, and leading up to Takeover, done really well. We see a lot of back and forth here. We see a Yakuza kick that wasn't enough to keep the champ down. And then the champ, she was dominating the match up until that point. But then we see the Chingona bomb attempted by Gonzalez, but Kai locks that injured arm. She had injured the arm earlier, and the right arm, and she puts it into an armbar. But Gonzalez just swings Kai back and forth into the buckle, the ropes, what have you. And in the end, a Yakuza kick is thwarted as she has Raquel Gonzalez sitting on the top turnbuckle. I'm thinking, wow, she has that kind of extension with that kick. And then what happens is that Gonzalez just scoops up Kai from that point, and she delivers the Chingona bomb, probably one of the most devastating versions of that move of hers, and she pins her former BFF. You're thinking, okay, that's it. She's standing there holding the title high, and she lives to fight another day as champion. She's gone through all of them, seemingly, right? She says that before the whole situation with her and Dakota Kai, she said there's no one left. We thought, yeah, there's one left, and that's Dakota. But now she's dispatched of her former friend. Who's next? And then the music comes on. Sounds familiar to me. And then it's the former NXT UK Women's Champion Kay Lee Ray and the crowd, or maybe it was the you know, piped in chants, but we hear Kay Lee Ray chants. It's Kay Lee Ray, who I was saying, I wonder when she's going to go after her title to regain it. But she had it for such a long time, maybe it was time for her to move on. I said, she should go to NXT and go after the champion. And it may be that. I mean, she just showed up, and Raquel Gonzalez is looking like, what's this? And all I'm thinking is, Gonzalez, that is your possible challenger to your title. And I'm glad to see her there. And, she did all she could in NXT UK. So now she's in NXT. So let's see what she does. Now, Walter Dragunov 2 for the NXT UK Championship. Now, Walter became champ at NXT New York against Pete Dunne. He remember how he beat the champ. He did a dive off the top rope, splash, and he won the title. And his current reign stands at 870. It's 870. Let me say that again. 870. 70. I say 70. 870 days as the champ thus far. And as we expected, this match is a back and forth affair. Physical as fuck and brutal. I mean, we see a Torpedo Moscow attempt by Dragunov and it's turned into an attempted sleeper. But then instead of securing that sleeper, he just pretty much does an overhead suplex. Now, Ilya hits it, but Walter is not done yet as he kicks out. I mean, you thought that was it. Now, a power bomb and a splash by Walter, but Dragunov kicks out. And because of that and the other near falls, he's going to win this championship. He's definitely getting the win and he's going to get the championship. And yes, folks, via a sleeper, which he seemingly had on forever. Walter was fighting it. There was one moment where he got out, and then when he got it in, he cinched it in so tight that the longest reigning champion in the modern era of WWE taps out. And Ilya Dragunov ends the 870-day reign of Walter, and the new UK champion is Ilya Dragunov. I called it. I said he was going to win the championship because this is the one guy that's convincing. He was taking Walter down. He had him on the mat. He was wearing him down, doing the right thing that you do if you're a much smaller opponent. You drag him, you take him to the mat and you wear him down. You try to, you know, expel all the gas that's in the tank of the much bigger guy, and he was doing that. He was working it, and in the end, he's becomes the new UK champion. So I'm so glad about that. It's so fucking good that he's the champion, and he's going to be a great champion. He's going to probably have another long reign. They're doing that thing with that UK championship. They're giving these guys long reigns. I mean, Tyler Bate, don't know if he's title reign. I think his title reign was only like 30 something days. I think so. I think he got punished by Triple H or something like that because of something that he had done or said. Because he's had some disciplinary problems, Tyler Bate, and he's the inaugural champion. He got defeated by Pete Dunne, and then Pete Dunne got beaten, of course, by Walter, and then Walter gets beaten by Ilya Dragunov. So a very, very good match. Is it as good as the first one? There's moments where maybe, yeah, a lot of it was, especially the ground game. I totally liked how they were exchanging. They were just trying to wear each other down. They were trying to, yeah, there were some chops in there, some real ugly chops. And I mean ugly because it turns your damn chest and your neck and everything ugly with the, rash marks and the shredded marks and the popped capillaries. I guess that's what you say. I've said that before, and at the end of that match, he was ripped to shreds. And I know that Ilya is going to be feeling it, but I think he's a little happy because his 4-year-old son went to sleep before his match, and he said that he wanted to win this title so that when his son wakes up, he has the belt right there for him to see. I think his son's name is Constantine, which that's a pretty cool name. It's something with a C. I think it was Constantine. And so he's going to be able to give his son a much needed, surprise when he wakes up. Now, Cameron Grimes is backstage and he's interviewed and he's there with the $1 Million Man and he's going to celebrate with the $1 Million Man with a $1 million celebration. And I couldn't have think of a better guy to be able to have this kind of success. It's a $1 million championship. It's starting now to be part of the rotation when it comes to the championships. And yeah, bring some legitimacy to the title if you're going to have it like that. Don't make it be a gimmick title. Don't make it be like a 24/7 title or something like that or a hardcore title. Make it a legit title. Do some things with it that's going to make people go, wow, man, I can't wait, man, that $1 million championship's coming up. Instead of going, oh man, what is that? What is that? A time filler? What is that? A time to go to the bathroom kind of, title. You want to make it to where you want to watch it. You want to watch the match. And I really liked this match and I enjoyed it. I think LA Knight and Cameron Grimes work well together, and they might go at it again. LA Knight might win this title back, so we'll see. Now, backstage, we see the NXT GM William Regal, and he wants to be impartial. He doesn't want to pick sides. He's the GM, but he's talking to Samoa Joe, and you know he doesn't want to take sides, like I said, but tell Samoa Joe that he wants him to kick Karrion Kross's ass, and I couldn't agree more. Especially what he's been putting the GM Regal and Joe through. Yeah, I think it's time that he got his. So we'll say now. O'Reilly and Cole look to end it in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This is the undisputed finale, the rubber match, if you will. Now, the match really is what we expect from these guys. When these guys either face each other or when they were as the undisputed era and they faced other guys, the other guys needed to bring it. They needed to be just as physical, as brutal, willing to take shots and give them back. And they've had their matches against like Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, against Pete Dunne and others, and of course we're going to see that when it's the two undisputed era members now bitter enemies, and we saw like an attempted Panama Sunrise by Cole, and then it's reversed into a sit out pin, and O'Reilly gets the first fall in the traditional one-on-one match, which is the first fall. Then it goes to a street fight. And then we see Cole. He sets up the chairs, upright, back to back. And then he throws O'Reilly from the top turnbuckle onto the setup chairs. I'm thinking there is no way that you could protect yourself from that. You're definitely gonna just take those that crash into those chairs, unless you could slam your hands onto the seat to take the pressure off of it. But he went through those chairs and it looked like it hurt, and I'm pretty sure it did. And he then would connect with the last shot, and he picks up a second fall and a second fall into, street fight. There was one instance where it was pretty funny, but I'm sure pretty difficult to take for O'Reilly, where O'Reilly sees he's on his knees and then sitting there, and then Cole pulls down his his they call that his knee pad, and then O'Reilly anticipates it and goes like this to kind of cover himself, and then Cole runs back. He sees the kendo stick and takes the kendo stick and gives him a shot to the back. And I tell you, O'Reilly, Cole was really making use of that chair because of the fact that he had hurt O'Reilly's ribs, and so he was taking the chair shots to him. Even when the steel cage started coming down, he went outside. I liked how the steel chairs went up, because the steel chairs were like this, and like the thing, and they were coming down like this onto the sides instead of it like lowering as a cage, which is pretty cool. And before the other side would come down, it stopped, and then Cole was pretty much destroying O'Reilly on the outside. He already has O'Reilly all fucked up and really really messed up, destroyed everything. So he's still continuing to wear him outside the ring. And then inside the ring, he continues that very, he continued that very, aggressive, mode, where he was going to pretty much put him on the slab, if you will. He was putting him on the shelf. He really wanted to take him out. Cole was not messing around. And then there's a part where Cole, is able to handcuff O'Reilly to the cage. You're thinking, oh hell, ain't no way he's gonna get out. He ain't gonna get no offensive moves in. He ain't gonna be able to defend himself. And then we see O'Reilly, and he gets hit with another Panama Sunrise attempt off the top rope, but then he gets a near fall. Cole does, which was mind blowing. I don't understand how he did it, as worn out as he was, as in pain and injured as he was, and he was able to get out of that. And then Cole was being a little cocky, and he went to do a super kick, thinking, oh, I can easily hit him. He's handcuffed. But then what happened is that he gets locked into a heel hook, and he uses his armpit or something like that for leverage, so that Cole wouldn't be able to get out. and then he ends up getting him to tap out, and O'Reilly wins this fall and the match. And I'm thinking, okay, it's time to go on. It's time to move on. And I know these guys will now because where else are they gonna go? Is Cole gonna leave WWE? Is he going to go to the main roster? Really, nothing has been set or definite as far as as far as I'm concerned, because I have not seen anything else other than the other news that I've been hearing about it, about his meeting with Vince McMahon and all that stuff. But then the crowd was chanting bullshit. What the f, man? It's like, what the fuck? Like, the crowd really? I mean, there was this one girl that kept. They were saying, the guys, everybody in the crowd was saying Walter, like chanting it like you chant Goldberg. And then this one girl, or maybe a high pitched voice dude, kept saying, sucks. They were saying Walter. Then this person would say sucks, and no one was chanting with this girl. I guess it was. And then there was another chant. I forgot what it was because it was in my mind. And then she tried to do the counter chant, and no one was. And I'm just thinking, give it up. It's like, give it up. No one's chanting with you, you know. But the chants were kind of like, they're kind of off. Like, some of them were like, what? Are you trying to be Cole for the room? Like, what was bullshit about it because you wanted Cole to win? You do know that there's a possibility that Cole is leaving. So sometimes that's what WWE does. If someone's on the way out, they lose. And maybe that's a sign. All I kept thinking about Adam Cole is that, his girlfriend is a dentist. And have you ever looked at the bottom of his teeth? They're kind of like, look like a what do you call that? A jagged, you know, I'm trying to come up with something, but I'm just thinking, she's the one that his girlfriend's Britt Baker, and she kind of got all over Tony Schiavone's case about his teeth. I wonder if she's ever done that to Adam Cole, but I don't know why I went there. I digress. But it's just a funny guy. His girlfriend's a dentist, and then he has, maybe he's working on it. Maybe he's getting it fixed. I don't know. But Ilja Dragunov, he's backstage, and he's asked, to give his thoughts on becoming the new UK champion, the NXT United Kingdom champion, and he says the ring general has fallen. Long live the Czar. That's all I heard because he mumbled something else, and maybe he was adding to the Czar of the ring or something like that. But yeah, what he did, he can call himself whatever he wants to call himself, because he has every right to gloat, to brag, and to say that I'm this or I'm that, because that was a banging banger of a match. I don't want to say a banger of a match, like I always like to say, and it really was. And congratulations to him again, and I can't wait to see what he can do as champion and who's going to be his next challenger. Because I'm thinking that Walter's going to move on and he's going to target somebody. Maybe he'll target Joe, because I think that Karrion Kross is going to go full time now to the main roster, and then you know we're going to probably see Walter attack Joe, and that's the next thing, and then Walter will win it, and then Walter will have a long reign, maybe a 300 plus day, 400 plus day reign. Maybe he'll even break Adam Cole's record. We'll see about that. Now, the NXT Championship, and Scarlett chants as Cross walks down the ramp and the ring. And in the ring, as the match commences, Hardy chants ring out. That's hilarious. And I just realized that I just said that Joe champion. Yeah, he won, but let's still go through the. Let's still, because in my mind I'm thinking, what am I think I'm going ahead of myself. But let's talk about the match still. You know what I mean? But yeah, he goes down there and then the Hardy chants ring out, which was hilarious. And then the Scarlett chants is because where is Scarlett? Where in the hell is she? Just because he's on the main roster, she's not gonna. What are they gonna have her do? Is she gonna stay on NXT and they're gonna build her up as a singles competitor and she's gonna go after the championship? I don't know. You know, but let's talk about it. What I mean? Cross was taking Joe to school, and he hit the Doomsday Saito suplex about 2 times, and he followed that up with a shot to the back of Joe's neck, about his neck or his back, but he fails to. But he falls to the outside, Joe does, which may have saved him from falling and praying to Cross. Now, Joe does turn things around and gets Cross into an STF, but Cross is not done and turns things in his favor. And as the crowd boos him relentlessly throughout the match, they didn't care. And it's really indicative of what they've done to him on the main roster. So nobody cares. And if Scarlett ain't there, no one cares. I don't know if it was getting to Karrion Kross. or the actor that plays Karrion Kross, he's probably thinking, man, these guys are fucking booing me relentlessly. What's going on? Shit, I can't wait to get out of here because I know I'm going to drop the title to Joe, and so just let me go to Raw and let me, make amends and make things right, But then after locking in the Coquina clutch and Cross, he was able to get out of that, but then he sets up for another shot to the back of Joe's back, around his neck area. I mean, I really don't know where he hits him because before it used to be like the back of the head. You can see it. And maybe they told him, you know what, maybe you should move that shot, that shot down to his lower neck or maybe even his back, the upper back, which has more meat on it. So, you could take a lot of hits that way. But anyway, he does that, but then Joe gets Cross on his shoulders, and we all know what he's going to do next. He comes down with the Muscle Buster, and he delivers not only the victory but a record-setting third NXT title. He is the first guy to have won the title 2 times, and now he's the first. He's now set a precedent. Now he is the only man now in NXT history to have won this title, the NXT title, 3 times. And I'm telling you, I really, really liked NXT Takeover 36. I liked the fact that the championship of NXT UK, the United Kingdom Championship, changed hands. I liked the surprise appearance, possibly her debut on NXT of Kaylee Ray, the former NXT UK Women's Champion. I know that there's nothing else she could have done on the they're in NXT UK, so here she is, and I think that this is a breath of fresh air because who else is going to go after her? There's these girls, that girl Gigi, and then her other girl, along with Mandy Rose. They're definitely, primed soon, not soon, but maybe in the future. They're going to be, among the fresh faces for the NXT Women's division. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm glad that she's here on NXT. But I really enjoyed it. I really did. They never cease to amaze me, and they never fail, when it comes to entertaining, when bringing out a great product. It's right up there. People want to put NXT down. They don't think it's really up there, but I don't understand why you can say that when they have probably the best writing, the best talent, the matches flow. They are really, really well done, well produced, well booked, stuff like that. They're going through a transition. A number of their people have been sent away by a future endeavored, and there are some that are going to the main roster. So they got to regroup and bring out all these new people. That's why they're pushing Gigi and that other girl on us, who apparently are going to be managed by Mandy Rose. Now you got Kaylee Ray. So they're building up their division hopefully to make it strong, and it looks like they're off to a good start when you want to add Kaylee Ray to the women's division in NXT. But anyway, that's my video for NXT Takeover 36. I enjoyed it, like I said, and I hope you did too. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.